Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Washington and I'm here to show you finally I'm updating my tools and this time is for easy house scattering. That tool, the main goal of that tool is easily scattering a neighborhood on your scene. You know, it doesn't mean that the quality of that neighborhood will be the highest quality, but it will help you to compose some scenes, okay, in an easier way. It's been a while since I released the version 1, right? And the reason that I didn't update it yet, I have a bunch of houses to add to the system. But first, I wanted to have uh, panels on the modifier level to organize it and prepare for the future, for the new updates, for adding new housing styles like European house styles or Asian house styles or South America. Right now it's just North America, and I will show you what changed from version 1 to version 1.2. Okay, and if you guys are familiar with it, this is the Easy House Scatter version 1, okay? And this is the modifier, right? What you have here is just, you can isolate the houses, you can remove the fences, you can have no sidewalks, no grounds, no bush, no trees, interiors on and off, okay? Basically what happened here is let me show you. Okay, so you have fake interiors that are going on here and you turn it off, you turn it on and off. Okay, you can see here what is happening. Okay, those are fake interiors that helps to fulfill night shot, let's say. Okay, and for you guys that are not familiar with it, the way you scatter it is just extruding the edges, right? So you can go here and keep extruding and will be automatically adding new house to the system. Okay, so that's how it look like right now at this point. Okay, and that's version 1. Now I'm gonna show you what changed to version 1.2. Okay, if you go to Blender 4.1 and version 1.2 is just for Blender 1.1 and ahead, okay, you can go here. What is that? Here. Okay, this is version 1.2. Okay, you can tell right away that you have a different range of trees. Okay, here you have a different range of trees. You have two different trees that goes alongside the sidewalk. However, the main change is not the content, is the panels and the options. Okay, right now I removed all the only things that was here, and you can see here only no fences, no sidewalk. I removed these, and now you have all the items that you can turn it on and off. Okay, so for example, you can turn it off the house, you can turn it off on the fences and off the trees internal, the trees outside, bush internal, the ground, and I've been added these other options, which is vegetation alongside the outside areas. Okay, because I think this add a little bit of more realism to your scene. Okay, the ground texture changes a bit as well, and I will show you in a minute how it looks here. Okay, the ground texture is a little bit more random, so you don't see the pattern that much for the grass. Okay, and let's remove the internal trees, so I will show you how the interiors are now much better to see. Okay, the reason is that all the settings are now here, okay, inside the panels. So for example, if you want to go to the house settings, you have the settings here, the fence settings here, trees internal settings here, and you have lots of settings, right? For example, for the house settings, you have fake interiors. So now you can control the amount, the brightness of the fake interiors. Okay, so you can have them a little bit brighter, or you can have them very bright, right? Or you can remove them completely. Okay, this gives you more control over the system. Okay, but that's not all. Now let's say I've been facing this situation in which I have all these scattered all over the places, and it gets low because it scatters the geometry and it's showing the geometry, right? But right now in this new version you have the proxy mode, and especially because you have nice vegetation alongside, it's important to use it to optimize your scene. So you can change it to proxy. No, so now you will have just the proxy and your scene will be much lighter to deal with. All right, so but if you render this out from your camera, you can see that it will render fully as it was with no proxy at all. Okay, you see it's rendering completely, it's rendering complete. Okay, so you have settings all over the place here. Okay, I will show you quickly all the settings, right? For the house settings, for all the items you have camera culling. What is that? That means that you now can take the active camera and subtract the geometry from the areas that are not visible. I will show you here. This is the active camera, right? Right now uh, I have some camera culling activated here. Where is that? Oh, for the vegetation. Okay. Okay. Let's say right now, if I move the camera here, nothing changed, right? But let's say you have a bunch of houses. Let me just copy this guy here. And you have your camera here seeing this. Let me split this area to show you better. Okay, that's my camera, right? But let's say you don't want to see what is going behind it. Okay, you don't want to see at least the shrubs and the vegetation that will takes memory to render. So now you can go to the system and go to the bush internal, and let me do this. Oh, now I'm seeing just proxy. Okay, so now I can go to the bush internal and click in camera culling. So this means that it is removing all the bushes from here, from behind the camera. And you can see as the camera moves, right, the bushes disappear, right? But here you see that from the camera, it's not affecting that at all. And you can even enhance the range, okay? Because you have the option here to enhance the range, and this is spread all over all the other settings individually, because sometimes you have a tree and you need a different range for that tree. So maybe a wider, because the tree has branches and everything, that is sometimes it's kind of very close to the camera, and the range that may cut them out. Okay, so you can change the range here, and you see the bushes starts to disappear. right, close to the rays of a camera. Okay, so that's something that you can control here. The other settings that is all over the place for everyone is the seed. So now you can change the seed, which means how is displayed the bushes. Maybe something that you don't like, you can change it. You can change the density as well, right? You can put it more and less. None of those options were available in the previous version. It is what it is, and that's it. But now you have full control, right? Let's say you have the trees outside, but you want to camera culling them. So you do this. And now if you change, the trees will disappear as soon as it goes out of the range of the camera. And you can control this for everything. And this is amazing because this helps you to save memory and also render time, right? You can do this even for the fence, okay? Even for the fence, let's go here and activate the camera equipment, right? You can do this for the fence because the camera for the fence, it's gonna remove the mesh, right? And you also can control the range if something is disappearing in front of your camera before it goes out of the range. Like everything, you just need to change the range. Okay, let's move out from camera cooling. Okay, let's bring it everything back, and well, I'm gonna close this guy, move away from the camera. Another option is now you can change the probability of fence on your neighborhood. If you like more this kind of fence, you can go here and change the probability so you can kind of have the more type of fence that you really want. Okay, the house settings also, you can change the seed, so you can change which houses are going to display, right? You can change the seed for the small house as well, and you also can have camera cooling for them as well, right? What else? You can remove the ground, and inside the ground settings you have the material, so you may want to change the material in the ground, and previously it wasn't possible, and now you can just drag your material here and your material will be applied to the ground. Okay, for the vegetation settings, which is this vegetation alongside everything, let's do the camera cooling just for the optimization. Okay, you can change the seed, right, as for the rest of it, and it's basically composed, at least at this point, by two different plants. Okay, plant 1 and plant 2, and you can control the amount of plants in both here, and the dispersion, which is the noise, the gaps between the plants. Okay, so you can make them more prominent or less prominent. Okay, and that's up to you, right? And the amount of the plants and the scale also of the plants, plant 1 and plant 2. Okay, that gives you guys lots of more options and better control and better organizations for this. And I would let you know just the last topic, because it was a request from the community, right? How should I export the house? Previously, in this one, if I convert that into mesh, everything will disappear but the fences. Okay, so you basically were not able to export it like FBX or something like that to another software, right? But right now you can do this, right? Because right now you have this option, which is prepare for conversion. So when you press this, and then you convert into mesh. Now it will preserve all your houses, and now those are editable houses, okay? And you can export it, right? Why it doesn't preserve the vegetation? Because if you convert them into mesh, it will be too heavy, and there's no point on exporting that to any other software, because when you are working with plants in some software, you are working with instances. That's how you can have lots of plants on your scene and render them out. So if you try to convert, for example, this amount of vegetation, let's go back. If you try to convert this, all of this, it will crash Blender, because it's a lot of geometry and there's no point of doing that. So the Easy House Cutter is made to work in Blender. And be aware that every time you go to export this, let me show you. Every time you go to export this, right, be aware that the textures of the house, they are procedural just in Blender, okay? They are procedural just in Blender, because I will change the seed here, because they do not work in other software. The texture of them, it doesn't work in other software. Like, you see, I prepare for conversion, it creates one single mesh and it changes the procedural, okay? So you may need to rebuild all the texture in the other software if you want to export them, okay? If you remove the prepare, so everything works fine, because all these textures are procedurally created in Blender for use inside Blender. So be aware that if you are going to export them, you will not get the textures, okay? You will have to apply your own textures inside the software in which you are going to export it, which may worth it, because modeling and having the models are the most difficult part than just apply materials, okay? So be aware of that, and yeah, stay tuned, because I started to update my tools for Blender 4.1, and this is the first tool that I updated. So Easy House Cutter, I was thinking on that for a while, because that was the most demanding for now. It's the only one that I didn't update at all since I created. So now it's updated, and the next updates will be probably adding more items to compose the scene better, and then more houses and things like that, okay? And I will always be looking for things to improve uh, generally the tool, okay? But for now, that's the update. I hope you guys like it. If you like my channel, subscribe the channel. If you like this video, thumbs up. Don't like, thumbs down. And if you are interested in my generators, be aware that all of them are gonna be now gradually updated to 4.1, and my goal is to do that before the end of April, because I'm gonna be travel, and I will not have time to do that after it, at least for a month. So my goal is to update all of them before it. So stay tuned and see you in the next video. Bye bye.